Hello, I'm Martin Vaughan. I'm going to take you through how to use the online SailOnLine, the virtual race software. Now, I've got to it from our website. Under the info menu, there's a link, and I've logged in. So all that's done already. If you haven't got a username, you'll need to register, and it'll create one sending to your email address. Now, the race we want obviously is the Melbourne to Osaka yacht race. So I'm going to go to that race. And when I do, it may give you a little warning about Adobe Flash. It will require that to run. And it'll load the race. Now, the first time it loads, it takes a little while, but after that, it starts caching content, so it's much quicker. Just bear with me as it comes up now. And you give it instructions that it can actually put content on your computer. It may well take a little while to load the weather as well. I've already done that. And it brings up the race. It'll show you the course. You can actually move around by clicking and dragging the course. You've got the plus and minus, so you can zoom in. And here we have our race. So I've got my own boat. I'm at the start here. I can actually see it. I can click on my own little icon, which will center me on that boat. And as I zoom in more, I can get a sense of the course. Now, starting at the heads, let's have a look at some of these. It's going to start slightly differently to the real race, but it's very close. Now, looking at some of these icons, we've got our centered on the boat. We've got this one, which is actually pretty handy because wherever you move, it'll tell you the bearing and distance up in the right hand corner of the screen, if you can see that moving. And what that is good is handy to try and figure out what's my next course. Now when I start the race, I probably want to head over here somewhere, which is about 100 degrees approximately. I'm just going to use that for now. The other thing you can actually get like calipers, like a lot of this navigating software, you can actually figure out bearings and distances. But anyway, let's put a command in. The way it'll work is that we can actually come up here to the right hand side of the screen and we can either enter a bearing. I want to go 100 degrees and set the boat course. In other words, tell it to go that direction. And it sends the information and it'll update. Our internet connection's a wee bit slow here, so bear with us. And that's its first bearing. Now, if I go 100 degrees, I'm not going to actually exit the heads at all. So I'm probably going to need to figure out a different course. I'll change that function. Perhaps I'm going to go with, let's say 140 degrees, just for a demonstration. And it's actually giving me a red. It's saying, well, 140, that's too close to the wind. It's red here. True wind angle of 38 degrees, too close. So it may be actually smarter to sail a true wind angle and say, well, I actually want to go minus 45 degrees because based on my polars, I think that'll be good. So I'll pop that in and I'll send that function and we should see the screen update in a minute to show that these calipers are driving me crazy. So I'll turn them off. Alright, and I'll turn off that function. And there's my first, if you like, bearing. You've got little markers that will show nautical miles and how far we might go in 5 nautical miles. And you can get a sense of how the race will play. Now, those that tactically will probably want to have a look at the weather. It's currently set up for the next 7 days, but you could actually focus nearer, or you could perhaps go out further. So the next 24 hours at least, the weather's going to do something like this. You can see the classic wind polars there. Oh, so the wind diagrams and arrows there. So look, over the next 24 hours, down the bottom here, I'm currently doing a true wind angle of minus 45 with a true wind direction of 101 over time. And you'll see that'll actually adjust and we can actually get a sense of how we're going to do. So coming back up to my commands, I can perhaps say, well, you know what, in about 2 hours time, delay of 2 hours, I want to give a command to sail 150 degrees or perhaps a different wind angle for whatever reason. And what that'll do, it'll send a command that in 2 hours time, I want you to change direction. This is kind of handy function for those that do like their sleep because I don't particularly want to get up in the middle of the night. So you can actually start queuing up instructions for changes. Now beyond that, you've got a little question mark here. We've got an info, we've got helpful links, and we've got a lot more information in the quick help guide to use this in a lot more depth. So I'll leave you to it. That's for me for now. Have a bit of fun, have a play with it, set up for the race. Don't forget to put your first instructions in, otherwise you'll go and hit the heads, which we don't want to see. And we'll speak to you later.